Hey everyone, we're coming right back in. We're still in the middle of pool 3. Last one here is where are we? We got Pack Rob here. He's doing his set. Let me set everything back up here. Oh, dang, he's starting now. Okay. You good to go? You're good to go.
Difficulty zone single. Level 11. Levels level 17. Unbelievable! You are the best! Game over! They pump it up! Hello, everyone! New teams! Series zone! Level 17!
Let's go. Yeah, that's fine.
Hello, welcome back. It is I. Wow, my voice sounds a lot better now. I don't know what the difference
It does.
is.
I can hear you. You sound beautiful.
Thank you. You too. I'm free for dinner, later if you're asking.
No, be free. We'll make this happen.
All right.
But
so,
what else is happening right now is we're finishing out this redemption pool draw.
with some interesting picks and bans. So, okay, least surprising ban of all time, Chaos again.
Yeah, that was going to happen. Even if it's the 18, I can't imagine anybody really wants to play it.
No. Weird So Flan chart. Weird song.
Beat the Ghost. Also not a surprising ban. The S20, I think good chance to stay in. S18, no one wants to play that.
Yeah, I think that's probably a familiarity chart where probably no one has played it and doesn't want to mess with it. Allegro con Fuoco, kind of a strange chart if it's the one I'm thinking of. So not too surprising to see it gone. Obviously, we're tilting towards mostly the newer songs that are less freaky in terms of the charts. All Tail gets banned, which I can kind of see.
Okay.
And what was the last one that got banned real quick? ASDF, which again is a mid-era chart.
It is, yeah. I think that was a Fiesta or Fiesta EX chart.
It started, I think, as a Fiesta 1 mission, maybe, and then was put in Fiesta EX as a normal song. Like, it was one of those ones like Pine Nut where you could only play it as extra state or as a mission mode song.
You are probably right.
And it's a very quiet song. It's like almost completely inaudible, and in an arcade setting like this, you probably just want to ban it just so that you can play a song that you can hear.
So then we're left with a very interesting selection. Amor Fati. I'm surprised that no one hates the song enough to just ban it out of principle, but we're going to be seeing the S18 first. Bracket chart, pretty standard, except it does the thing that EXE always does, where every step in the brackets counts independently from each other. So every triple is 3 steps, not 1.
That's a blessing and a curse, I would say. It means that you can kind of screw up and still hit the notes, but it also means that if you are in completely the wrong place, you suffer triple the penalty. So
yeah, you're either going to do very well on it or probably very poorly on it, depending on how your bracketing is.
Yep. Cygnus, I think, is a pretty straightforward stamina streamy chart.
It is, and I wouldn't even say with the large break in the middle, it relies too heavy on stamina. It's just fast. Few turns in there, which may trip up players since it's almost 190 BPM. But nothing really crazy, especially for a 19. And that, speaking of that, kind of lends us to right over to Origami. Another chart, fast, but unlike the other charts for it, it's not very, very streamy. It has more broken up runs.
Like broken up triples and stuff like that. Yeah. And the thing with Origami is it's easy if you don't have familiarity to look at the BPM and be like, oh, it's got these big speed changes. But they're completely negligible. They're just basically there for seasoning. They're not really like going to impact how you play the chart probably. So yeah, this is I don't know. There were definitely charts that I would have rather seen played just for the goofiness of them. This is a pretty down the middle kind of set. I think Amor Fati is probably the weirdest of the 3.
Yeah, I agree. And just in case we have anyone new since we took our break, I am Mr. Dread. I should be doing commentary throughout the rest of the night.
And I am Michael Dante Vicnab. I also will probably be here the rest of the night doing commentary unless I decide I need to eat food really badly, which is always possible.
The buttons that look exactly the same with
So, with these players,
how to choose the song.
I'm sorry, I'm learning about how to play the game using steps
You can
to control the game.
Well, now you're never going to know.
Yeah. I would like to blame Josh for ruining my tutorial session. We got Jordan and Casey warming up with Big Daddy, of course. A popular pick this weekend, I'm sure.
And you talked about a lot about making your warm-up matter. And I think they picked a very good song for that.
Yeah. Good BPM range, similar difficulty. Like, you don't want to pick something that's too hard and get yourself gassed out, but you don't want to pick something too easy and not be in the right mindset. So I'm curious what Josh and Ty will do here on their warm-up. They're thinking about also playing Big Daddy. Yep. Wow.
There it is. They were either peeking over at the other screen and somebody thought, that's a great idea. Or there's enough people that really enjoy Big Daddy.
If you're part of the latter group, we can't be friends.
Well, I was going to ask, how do you feel that Queen Card is the default song that comes up when you start the game now?
Hate it. I hate it.
I was under the impression Queen Card was your favorite K-pop of all time.
Yeah. Queen Card? So here's the thing. It may grow on me eventually. I don't know about you, but for me, with Double X, I hated Hit for so long. And then, like, the last week of Double X, I played Hit, like, every single time I got the opportunity to, because I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. So maybe one day I'll feel the same way about Queen Card. But right now, Queen Card, it's not it for me.
Yeah, Hit was hard to dislike because it did tend to have very good charts.
Yes.
For every single difficulty.
Well, if you listen to Hudson, Queen Card has good charts.
Which one?
If you listen to Hudson, Queen Card also has good charts.
I absolutely disagree with anything over the 18. The S18, if you go higher than that, no.
Hudson will tell you that the D22 is actually phenomenal and that it's a skill issue if you can't do the whatever the hell the ending spin bracket nonsense is. There's no such thing as a bad chart. There's only bad players.
Oh, okay.
We're just all bad players. Every single one of us.
Right. I think that's where I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
If that makes me a bad player, then yeah, I'm a bad player.
That's fine.
For strongly disliking that D22.
Yeah, well, like, I'm of a like mind to you. But here we go. An obelisk S7. We didn't get to see it in the last set, but we are going to get to see Jordan and Casey warm up with it, which is good. I love this song. Of course, I can't hear the song. I instead am hearing Big Daddy, but
Overlay is too.
oh yeah, the overlay is like blurry.
It's layered on top of each other.
Unbelievable! You are the best!
Ooh, Josh with a brutal performance on the Big Daddy warm up. You hate to see it.
That is pretty wild that 300 misses on a song with slightly over 1,000 steps is now a B.
Game
Yeah.
over.
The letter grade changes are very pronounced, like very, very pronounced. I remember a time where just getting an A on a song was good enough. It didn't matter if you stage cleared it or not.
Oh, don't get me started with Exceed 1, where anything that was over a 15, if you're playing on Nightmare, it was
Hello,
more or
everyone.
less random what you were going to get.
Like the letter grade? It was just
Oh
like
yeah,
arbitrary.
letter grades
Hell
were
yeah.
embarrassingly bad.
That rules, honestly. I love nonsensical
Yeah, I
things.
got. I'm specifically thinking of the B Nightmare that was that existed back then, and I got a 21 miss D on it.
Okay.
And my first A was 41 misses.
Okay,
It makes sense.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, B Nightmare also does not make any sense. So the score that you get on it now makes sense. Makes sense anyway. It's like maybe Ty and Josh are gonna play one more song to get warmed up here.
Yeah, it looks like, I wonder if we're going to be waiting on somebody to get back so we can do the entire pool together. So they're just allowed to have an extra warm up or two.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us did probably grab some food on the break, so erring on the side of having one extra warm up song, not a bad idea.
I did not eat any food because I'm a strong believer that the hungrier you are, the better you are at commentary. That's why I have that belief, and I just formed that belief in the last 1 minute to justify not eating food.
You're hungry for competition, is what
That's
you're saying.
exactly it. You're right. Oof. Are they warming up with, is this the S19 or the 16?
I
think
this
this
is
is
the
19.
19.
This is quite a bold choice to warm up with. This chart is very twisty.
It is. Yeah, so let's talk about that. And just thinking about what this does. We have the triple section, which will be good for a more Fati, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's going to follow it pretty well. But most everything else is not really going to translate over to the other songs.
No. And again, going with our like previous logic, well, you could say, okay, maybe that doesn't matter, or maybe whatever. I could certainly see it being the case that you're of the thought process that this is a song that makes you move a lot, and you just want to move a lot so that you're ready. But again, if it were me, if I were in this spot, I would absolutely probably warm up with, like I see on the other monitor, like they have like Kill Them over there. I would warm up with something like that. Kill Them would probably be like a pretty good warm up. It's a little bit slower than the fast songs in this pool, but it's like a very kind of samey feel. You know, or like maybe warm up with like Chase Me S20 or something like that if you wanted to do something harder, but like something where you've got like some consistent 200 streams, get your feet moving really, really fast. But, you know, again, some people just want to warm up with what they're comfy on, and that may be what's best for them. So, yeah, these turning patterns here are very fun. I love watching these kinds of charts. It's delightful to see someone PFC something like this, because it's just, I don't know, you get into some awkward positions. I was cheating a lot of those patterns. I'm guessing that was the last warm-up because they're already hovering on more Fatih on the other side. So, ooh, Ty with a rough game. We love to see it. As the world's first golden rough gamer, I love to see anytime someone else is supporting a rough game lifestyle.
He was the first one that...
I'm the first one.
You are.
I am the world's first, to my knowledge, golden rough gamer. I have 1,002 rough games or something like that. It's a very, very, very strange pursuit, but I've made it mine.
You know, I hear that might be a skill issue.
What? That I have rough games?
Yes.
Oh, they're deliberate. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to go through the 12s folder and sit there and get... There are some charts that are like almost impossible to rough game. There actually are some that I'm pretty sure are impossible, but like B, you have to basically get a miss like exactly every 16 perfects or else it's impossible. Like there's just barely enough steps in B, S10 or whatever. Like it's very fun.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
It is. It's a weird way of playing, but it's fun. It's like totally antithetical to what you normally play the game, you know, trying to get...
It's almost like you took the fact they weren't going to do any missions in Phoenix personally, and then you made the entire 12s folder a mission.
You may not be wrong, but I also will, like, it'll be fun sometimes if I'm playing like a 20 and I'm like, oh, this run's kind of busted. I'll just be like, okay, I'm going to start getting misses. And then I do it, and it's fun. But anyways, here we go. We're about to start. So we got Jordan, Casey, Ty, Josh.
And everybody is playing one of the most EXE charts that's ever been EXE'd.
Indeed. And there's a pretty different... They did not hit the start button at the same time. So...
모든 걸 잘할 순 없어 오늘보다 더 나은 내일이면 돼.
Not much of a problem for any of the competitors so far. Pretty much to be expected. Penny may have picked up a miss or a bad. Either way,
He picked up a bad in a very early freeze tap. And it looks like Josh and Coin both also picked up at the very end. This song just has so many easy steps to miss. Like, collectively, they aren't that hard, but like, it's just so easy to screw up in little tiny ways.
And something else that I didn't see for this group, but may come into play later, is that since all the steps on those triples are independent, you can get 2 perfects in a grade. It doesn't have to be a miss anymore.
It looks right now like maybe C and Coin are doing the best, but it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, every single player did get a miss of some sort in the first triple section. So, but looking now, it is really anyone's game at this point.
Casey, though, handled that. Oh, so he just handled that crossover section immaculately, but then he got a miss right in the first triple, and he's gotten a few more in this triple section. So we may be seeing the player skill set differences manifesting, because it feels like Casey did better on the crossovers and worse on the triples. Okay, so wow, very, very, very close scores across the board. The difference total was like barely even 3,000, not even 3,000 points. Did we not get the photos of scores in time? So the differences in the scores was tiny, like minuscule, which is will be interesting for the next stage of the tournament, because
New team difficulty zone single. Level 6. Level 13. Level.
yeah, there. I don't know. Okay, well, in any case, yeah, very, very close between all 4 players on that song. Closer than it looked like it was. Like, it looked like because they were getting their misses in so many different spots from each other, it didn't feel easy to track how many non-combos they all had.
No, in real time, it's almost impossible to track.
Yeah, but all told, all 4 of them are going to probably be fairly happy with their scores, if not totally satisfied. And these next 2 songs are much more conventional, I guess, chart-wise. So, once again, we've got a little bit of a lag between the 2 cabinets.
Just one cabinet loading faster.
I think so.
Yeah, we touched on this before, but for a lot of sickness, there's not going to be a whole lot that's going to trip up the players. We're going to have a run at the end, but before then, as long as you turn, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. It looks like Mocha maybe broke combo so far is the only one. But, oh, and there's a combo break for Coin. There's another one. So, our 2 players on the left are both, I think, still full great or full perfect comboing.
Yeah, Kenny and Casey looking real strong going into the slowdown.
Penny struggling a little bit there with the initial steps of the slowdown. Casey hits them all clean. Both
Oh, everyone has some issues with the side turns
Yep.
at the end.
both Henny and Casey going into that last stream had the chance for some full combos. They both still managed to avoid any misses. And Casey, it looks like, takes it by a small margin. But again, all 4 players kind of in the same range. Only a difference of 7,000 points separating them. So we're seeing like a pretty tight grouping thus far.
Ready, wrap it up.
I can definitely see Origami maybe tripping some people up because it's not super, I don't want to say it's not a memorable song because it's a good song, but I feel like it's not the kind of song that stands out. Like it doesn't pop off the page at you and you don't probably play it unless you are playing, you know, maybe like the 24 or whatever. So I feel like it's very possible that none of these 4 players are super familiar with it. It's the kind of thing that you could easily overlook, I think. As things currently stand, Casey is in first for both of the first 2 songs, but only by like very small margins. Something looks very weird about this. Why is this number what it is? It hasn't mattered, obviously, but yeah, it should be B19, right, to B21? Yeah.
Players are opting to take their short break before they do the last song in the set.
I wonder if they're trying to figure something out here in terms of, it looks like Josh is maybe has a problem with the pad or something.
Or tying a shoe. Oh, yeah. We just got a shoe getting fixed.
There we go. It's so weird that the person playing on the furthest right is playing on the furthest left to us. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So Josh hates slowdowns, but fortunately this one is pretty short, pretty simple.
This is a short slowdown only at the beginning. And on the 19 mostly holds, so
Yep.
no issue.
But he also hates drills. And
This is
there it
not a
is.
good choice.
no.
I did see a good from Coin, and it does look like Mocha got a combo break somewhere in the beginning.
At the very start of the drills, he got a miss on a center upright drill, I want to say. But both Casey and Jay Henny looking clean right now. Ooh, Jay Henny with a couple of misses in that stream section. Casey clean still.
Used to have the largest part of the chart gap. It's gonna pick up a bit. We're gonna get a very short break, and then it's gonna pop off at the end.
Casey looked like he took a little bit of a second to collect his thoughts there and
Misses for
get ready.
Kenny.
He's got a great run going. So does Coin though, and Mocha. I mean, all 4 players are doing very well, but Mocha has had no combo breaks since that very early one, and he's hitting these side drills excellently. But Casey absolutely crushing the side-to-side streams.
That was
Hits the
very
last triple.
easily his.
Yeah, hell yeah, he took that song cleanly. Mocha is probably going to be in second. He had some goods and greats scattered about, but I think he's still going to be second. In which case, he does by a very, very, very tiny margin come out ahead of Coin.
400, almost 450 points.
Yeah, six fewer perfects with more greats and fewer non-combo steps and a longer combo. It's quite possible that he won the song on combo count and not actually on the with a 230 combo gap. That might be a 430 points. I don't really know exactly, or 410 points, but regardless, Casey with another excellent performance, and he's put himself clearly in the driver's seat. It will require some very, very, very good play out of one of the other three players here to unseat him, because he won all three songs of his group of four, which means that someone will have to beat him probably on two of the three to emerge.
And while winning all three songs, he did not perfect game any of them. So there is an opportunity there for any one of the three that are left.
Yep. I'm curious, by the way, now to go back and see if my prediction was correct. I said last pool, or in the first half of this pool, that I thought that all of the songs would have different winners, and I was correct looking at it. Get Up and Go. What was the second song in the pool? Oh, Milk and Black Swan were all taken by different players, and the best any player that won a song did on another song was come in second. So, but we had in that last set of songs, we had one player who came in third on Black Swan and then seventh on Milk. We had another player who came on second on Get Up and Go and last on Black Swan and Milk. And then we had another player that came in sixth on Milk, but did worse on Get Up and Go and Black Swan. So like a very weird distribution of results. I don't think that will happen again here. I think that I think Casey might well just win all three songs, but I don't think that these songs tested disparate enough skills other than Amor Fati.
No, completely agree with you, because you have the first song that, as we talked about before, is going to be very bracket heavy. You're probably either going to do extremely well or not well at all. That's all there is. The hold section is not complicated, and I think there may have been one, maybe two non-combos throughout that for all the first four players. But then we go to the second and third song, and they're honestly very similar. Similar in structure, similar in speed. So if you can do one, chances are your skill's going to transfer pretty laterally over to the other.
Yeah. So right now, Casey is just basically hoping that that no one else, can PG mysteriously any of these charts. The worst thing that could happen for Casey, probably, the thing that would make it the hardest for him, obviously he can't actually play it more, but like the thing that would make it the hardest for him here would be if all, like maybe two or even all three of these players were to overtake him on Amor Fati, which that's the song where there's obviously the biggest score gap. It's obviously very tricky, but if all three players were to overtake him on Amor Fati, then only one of the three of them would have to come close on Cygnus and Origami for him to fall behind.
Yes.
So, this is a very good opportunity for someone to, again, even if they themselves don't end up advancing, to maybe create an opportunity for one of the other two players playing alongside them to advance.
Somebody can absolutely screw him over. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Of the three of them, on Amor Fati specifically, I might place my bet on Michael and his big feet. I feel like he will have a very easy time handling the triples. Yeah. I feel like he will have a very easy with the socks and the big old feet. I feel like he will have no difficulty whatsoever with the triples.
I feel from the first round, watching him play Milk, he was the strongest at Milk, especially the section that gave everyone else the most trouble.
Right. So that's my instinct. I didn't see Pakrop play the last set of songs, so I don't really know how he'll do in terms of strengths and weaknesses. I could also see Shinobi's playstyle translating well to Amor Fati.
I see her doing well at Amor Fati and Cygnus. Where I may have some concern for her is during Aragon, especially when it starts doing the side drills.
Oh, yeah, those are very tricky. Yeah, I personally am terrible at side drills. I have to really engage my brain and recognize that they're coming, or else I do what I'm sure a lot of players who kind of tend to cheat stuff do, which is I'm like, oh, crap, and then I just kind of try to heel toe across the metal between the panels, and obviously that dooms your ability to score well.
And you can do that, and you can have moderate success.
Yeah.
But moderate success does not translate well in a tournament where you've got a couple of other players performing at a much higher level. They full perfect that, you've lost so many points over the course of the song.
Yeah, I think that unless you're like Dolky or Wind Force, you probably should try to do the side drills, especially in a tournament.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know how familiar Shinobi is with that pattern when it comes up in Origami. If she is, then she'll be able to react and turn appropriately, and I think she'll do that. I mean, we saw in the last set that she did a very good job of turning into the correct positions to do some pretty awkward turning patterns. So I have faith that she'll be able to do it again if she recognizes soon enough.
Yes, her performance in Get Up and Go was spectacular.
Yeah.
And the turns in Get Up and Go, especially during the triplet section, are very, very similar to what we're going to see in Origami. Now, the question is, can she stop the turning around back and forth and actually stay on the sides comfortably? If she
Sure.
can do that, she has as good a chance as everyone, honestly, if not a little better.
Yeah, I agree. Huh.
Pump it up!
As I suspected, this wave has been very, very, very tight. The scores have been very close, and I mean, not to look too forward because far forward because we've got a very good match in front of us. But I'm very curious about the next round because I don't know if you've seen like who is playing in it, but we have a lot of people who are not Pump It Up mains in the next pool, and I'm very curious. We're gonna go from a round with a lot of people who maybe dabble in other games but are certainly Pump It Up players at heart, to a round full of people who are either like Kingly is returning to the game. And they're super good, especially at doubles. But like, I don't know who Zypherhawk is. I'm excited to see players that I'm not familiar with play. Chance, ITG player.
Yes.
Rinker, ITG player. I believe Trenchcoat probably is too, because I don't recognize.
Primary pump player. He
Really?
might be the only one in that pool.
Where is Trenchcoat from? I don't know.
He is from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, he's one of y'all's group. Alrighty, alrighty.
Why'd you have to say it like that?
What, the y'all part?
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
cultural
that's-
appropriation, and I don't appreciate
I'm from
that.
Florida. It's the South. I mean, I'm from like the bougiest part of the South, but look, I'm trying to be inclusive of genders and sexualities and such, which is important in this world and in this life. Tolerance and pride, baby. Anyway,
We are
let's
going
get it.
right into
Let's
a more
get
fun
it.
team.
산다는 게 다 그런 거지 누구나 빈손으로 와
So, in the first wave of players, the first heat of players, there were actually 2, if not 3 players that got some drops here in this early freeze tap section. So, every point counts for a lot, and all 3 of them so far have avoided the mistakes.
Get this short drill.
Ooh.
Rob might be unfamiliar with that.
I have a question. Was that a jump that was a freeze that you did actually have to tap, and he didn't tap it?
No, you can just stay on the hold for that.
Okay. Rob is struggling a little bit here with some of these triples. I see Dirksen also got some drops.
Well, look at Shinobi.
But she is clean.
눈이 부시면서도 슬펐던 행복이야 나이는 숫자 마음이 진짜 가슴이 뛰는 대로 가면 돼
I don't expect we're going to see much trouble from any player in this upcoming section. We're going to have a few more runs to go and go into the final triple section.
Here we go.
가슴이 뛰는 대로 가면 돼
Shinobi hitting that M run clean.
And turning one
Yeah.
that's nothing in the grand scheme
No.
of things, especially for this song.
Her performance on that stream was very, very good. Dirksen also doing very well, especially in the end of the stream. I think Shinobi is probably still in the lead, but ooh.
Chris really did pull it out middle through the end, but I think this might be Shinobi's from this group. 5-2-2.
Wow, 993 to Dirksen's 988. So Shinobi's 993 does put her in first on the whole group, and Dirksen's 988 slides him in just under Casey, but ahead of Coin. So already we're seeing a possibility where if, say, Dirksen were to play super good the rest of the way, Shinobi's victory over Casey could knock him down here. But of course, now Shinobi is, she has the chance to, if she were to say triple S plus Cygnus here, she would
Hello,
be in a
everyone.
comfortable position going into the third song. So
New tunes. Difficulty zone level 11.
I have a feeling that she is probably pretty familiar with this. I don't know how long she's played Pump It Up for, but she seems like someone who really, really hit her stride as a Pump It Up player during XX. So
I remember seeing her starting around the latter half of XX.
yeah, so I feel like she's probably pretty familiar with the song, probably pretty familiar with the chart. So that was Milk S17.
I noticed when that cat is starting later into its offline.
Oh, no, I see. I was afraid
One of the cabinets apparently got knocked offline by the Ethernet cables. It's fine. It doesn't really matter that much, right? It's
That's
not.
true.
The scores don't save in event mode anyways. So unless we really want the, I don't know if the song plays save towards the overall like play counts of the songs on the
I
website.
think they do once the game ends.
Okay, so we might be flubbing up the numbers, the internal numbers. Here we go. All three players are off and running here on Cygnus.
Now, to the last song, I was thinking this is probably going to be a really strong chart for Pac.
Yes, I would be inclined to agree, but
The
already
side
struggling a
turns
little bit with the step
giving
jumps.
everyone issues so far.
Dirksen also breaking combo there, I think, during one of the side pivots, but Shinobi is remaining strong.
She had one break early on, but she's pulling back out. There have been quite a few breaks for both Makrov and Chris.
Yep. So I think that one thing that I had not really considered is that Dirksen is, I think, only entered in Pump, whereas the other two are playing other games. So that's a thing that's obviously very important over the course of a weekend like this, is like avoiding fatigue from being too spread out. But right now, Shinobi, who's the player who has probably the most to gain from a good performance here, is killing it. She doesn't look exhausted at all. She's hitting all of these side pivot freezes. Oh, I jinxed her. I'm sorry, Shinobi.
Shinobi probably did the best out of everyone so far in the side run.
I think she's probably going to be in third or fourth on the song, though. Oh, wow. So Dirksen secretly was holding up a triple S on his side. The assorted combo breaks he got made it look like he wasn't having a consistent performance. But all told, his perfect count extremely low. And I don't know. I don't have access to the exact numbers yet, but
It doesn't have to lock.
so Dirksen came in first out of his group of three on that song, and more importantly, third overall behind Jay, Henny, and Casey. So right now,
Hello, everyone.
he is in second. I think it's already over. I think this might just be, again, kind of a perfunctory matchup. Shinobi's performance on Cygnus was the second weakest in her groups. Unfortunately, she was doing so well too until the very, 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 very end turning stream. And that one kind of weird, like, side, like, pivot, M-runny kind of thing threw her score from probably being a 993, 994 into the 980s. And because everyone is so tightly grouped up on that song, she is just gonna, even an amazing origami score, I don't think she can overcome the deficit.
even taking first place in the song,
She would still be at
16 points.
16 points. Yeah, so it's looking like Casey is going to go through, which means that we will have the
Another pool of mostly players who specialize in other games.
yeah, yep. But obviously, Casey and Ton both more than proving themselves in their pump brackets to be worthy challengers in the pump domain too. Perhaps we could use some kind of mind control to turn them into full-time pump it up players. One thing that's very interesting that I'm noticing now while I'm trying to focus more on their foot positioning and stuff than on the arrows is how the players bring their heels in when they're doing like drills or things like that. I've noticed that Dirksen is very good at keeping his feet very like vertical, like almost entirely 90-degree angles to the bar or something. Whereas Shinobi, you can see she brings her foot almost goes totally at a right angle.
Yeah.
It's very, very different styles of hitting brackets. I don't know if that's a like a conscientious form thing where it's like, oh, I'm trying to get my foot as sideways as possible because you're doing a lot of weird side brackets in doubles, or if it's just a body type, foot size thing. But it's interesting to see how, like you can see with Pakrop that he's probably not as used to playing pump as the other two because his feet are sliding out more when he's trying to hit on the sides. You can see like his right foot is like right in the middle between the two panels, whereas some of the other players have had their feet much closer to the center. The economy of motion, the familiarity with the dimensions of the pad is more there.
You did a really great
So,
job.
Out of these three, Chris definitely with the 98
yes.
is strongest.
Dirksen with a very, very solid score there. I think that was like the 4th or the 5th best score in the pool. But Casey advances quite convincingly with 20 points out of 21 possible points. The only song he was vanquished on was Shinobi by her amazing Amorpha T performance, which deserves a lot of props. The only triple S on the song. And now we get to my favorite part. Not the waiting for the other players to come back part, but the card draw part. I love the card draw. This is where the joy comes in.
Yeah, and for this group, I believe we're looking at
19 to 21? 18 to 20. Okay.
So there's a lot of juicy things that we still have in the 19s, but now 20s, we're going to start seeing stuff like Showdown.
Yes.
Showdown, Meteorize, Mad Science.
Mad Science Milk.
The 20.
The 20 folder, I tell people this a lot. The 20 folder is probably the first folder that will really, 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 really push individual skills in the charts at the cost of basically everything else.
Yes.
There are very few 19s. There are some. There starts like Mission Possible for foot speed that like really, really push your ability to do foot speed, or Twist of Fate, your ability to read slow, things like that. But for the most part, the 19s, the 18s, 17s that have like a specific skill, bracketing or drills or something, they have a strong version of it, a strong tendency, but not like a total maximization of it.
Yes.
When you get to the 20 folder, that goes out the window. The 20s folder, you have things like Guitar Man S20,
I mean, I gotta call out-
Nisance S20,
Gotta
right?
call out Amir. Very
Yeah.
good point. If you want to do jack jumps, there's a chart for that too.
Yes. You got Nisance for jack jumps. You've got Guitar Man for drills, like raw drills. You've got Native for like the jackhammer, like foot switchy, gallopy, whatever the hell you want to call Native
Foot
S20.
switching and taps.
Yeah. You've got Allegro Furioso. You've got Utsushio no Kaze. You've got Kimchi Fingers. You've got all of these charts that are just very, very idiosyncratic. They just have like one thing that are like it's like a 12 out of 10, and then the rest of the charts a 5 out of 10, or it's like overblow for drills and 24th notes. There's just so many cool charts in the 20s folder. So I really hope that we get a lot of those pulled in the card draw, and then I hope that no one bans them.
And if we do have a lot of these players that are coming from other rhythm games, they may lack the chart knowledge where they know, okay, I'm not good at that. I don't want to play that chart.
Right. And some of those bullets, they'll probably just dodge naturally. I can imagine that if Guitar Man S20 were to come up, someone would just be like, it's a Yop song or whatever, and they would ban it. Oh my God.
Here, okay,
Mission
here it is.
Possible Blowback is in the pool.
Okay, we've got Mission Possible Blowback, Vuk S20, Friend S19, which not only has a few really solid runs. Oh, Vuk's gone.
Of course it is.
A lot of solid runs, but it has a very, very strong bracket section towards the end as well.
Indeed.
Saraband S20, where, okay, you think you know the song, now do 24th note drills that don't go to the music.
That chart is evil. That chart is really evil. I'm assuming crossover is the S20 also.
Yes.
So the chart that I'm worried we'll get through and that I do not want to see get through under any circumstances is Transicoglia.
Okay.
Transicoglia is just so boring. Like it's just so boring in my opinion.
Can you largely face forward and do runs at 160?
Yeah, it's not my kind of thing. Someone has banned Bad Apple. I don't know if they are aware that that's a gimmickless version that's just like a crossover heavy chart, and they banned it because they don't want to do crossovers. I don't know if they thought it was gimmicked and they don't want to do gimmicks and they don't know that it doesn't have gimmicks, but
A couple other things in here. We've got Night Duty, the slowdown still retained.
Yep.
It is exactly as it was. Skeptic S19, where the first half of the song, it's the Win 4 special. The first half of the song is a 14. The second half is about a 21.
Yep. So crossover is the 18. Okay, so that's a foot speed chart. So I can't imagine Mission Possible gets through. If Mission Possible gets through, I'll be the happiest man alive, since I predicted that I would. I said how badly I wanted to see it earlier.
Well, they did remove the double tempo at the end, but they retained all the 30 seconds.
Every other part of the chart is still weird, even with the gimmicks gone.
It's just handsome character that pass again.
Yeah, which is a great chart, one of the finest step charts of all time. So, I'm definitely not really all that excited to see Irelia. No, boo. I don't really want to see Irelia. It's just kind of a boring foot speed chart.
It is, yes.
Stream chart. At least Skeptic does interesting stuff with the speed. Okay, there goes Night Duty.
I expected that one to be gone.
Yep. So we are approaching like the worst possible incarnation of this card draw, which is exactly what I would expect to happen, because the people that are playing in the tournament are not interested in entertainment the way that I as a viewer am.
Yeah, because out of these, all right, so the entertaining, the spicy things we have left, we've got Friend S19, Skeptic S19.
Yeah.
Both of those are recent enough to where I do feel like these players are going to have some knowledge of what they do. Now, the question is, are they okay with that? Are they going to leave that in?
Yeah, Jev agrees with me. All the entertaining charts got banned. Yeah, they were all the first ones that were banned. I would see if it were up to me. We're talking about tournament ideas, right? But what if we introduced tournament donations where people can donate to the prize pot by demanding charts be played? The fans choose what the players play if they're willing to donate, buy Twitch subs.
As a spectator, that sounds amazing. The player having no agency over what happens to you sounds like hell.
The way I look at it, we already have no agency of our lives. We may as well have one last bastion stripped from us.
Somebody is eliminated. Friend, we are getting close to the worst timeline.
It is. We are rapidly approaching the timeline where one of us needs to hop in the machine and go back to save us all.
Skeptic crossover, it's over.
Yeah.
This is what we were saying before, where we do have a lot of players that focus on other rhythm games.
There's the broken karma ban.
And
Okay.
you're going to want to be playing songs that don't have a lot of gimmicks. It's going to be mostly straightforward, and you want to out-PA pump players.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Timing is one of the things that gives you an opportunity to take an edge where your game knowledge is lacking. And none of these songs are hard to time. They don't have any weird rhythms or anything. Maybe Skeptic kind of during the but the thing is,
Crossover, that chart at the end is the anchor drill, isn't it?
ooh, I think you're right.
And that is the interesting part of that chart.
Yeah. So yes, I agree. Please ban Transcoglia. The only way you could possibly be excited about Transcoglia is if you really want to see someone get a triple S plus PG. Like if you really want a PG, if for some reason all you care about is seeing the letters PG appear on the screen at the end of the game, you'll let Transcoglia through. But otherwise, you will not. Irelia, of course, is also like a free PG, I feel like, for a lot of these players at this skill level. So like I can't imagine Rinker not PGing Irelia. Like it's almost impossible.
I mean, no more than 2 or 3 breaks. No
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, because we are at a time for Pump where, all right, look at the tempos of these songs. 200 BPM is pretty normal,
Yep.
and honestly low when you start going up to higher difficulties.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yep. It's funny because we were talking about how 2 sets ago they had like a lot of slower tempoed songs, like 160, 170. Oh, where are all the 200 songs? Well, here they are. The 200 BPM plus range. It's crazy to think about how back in like 2005, 2006, we all thought that like playing Dragon Force stuff was the craziest thing ever, because it's like, how do you do 200 stream for more than like 2 or 3 seconds? And it's not like these songs are as hard as a Dragon Force chart or whatever, but I mean, these charts make you move really, really damn fast for somewhere from, 5 to 25 seconds. Aurelia is just like an endless, like the song is like pretty dang easy until a minute and 20 seconds in, and then it's just like, okay, now for the next 35 straight seconds, just move really fast. So I think that the overwhelmingly ITG oriented players here are like, yeah, I can do 200 stream. I think that the thing is, if you just look at the BPMs, you can kind of figure out what the songs are doing.
Yes.
If they're all the same difficulty in this whatever, if you look at the BPMs, you can kind of just tell. You see Sarabande 157 S20. That means it's probably pretty technical, right? Vuk 184, you might not know what the hell you're getting into, and then you just ban it anyways.
I feel like there is for Book, there is an understanding that you probably don't want any chart for that in a tournament anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But these other songs, these 200 BPM ones, like you were saying, there are like some specific qualities in Skeptic S19 that like make it pretty unique and pretty interesting. Same with Crossover. But to a player who doesn't have like exhaustive game knowledge, which like even I don't know exactly what these charts are doing, you see 200 BPM and you see is an 18 or a 19 or a 17 or whatever, and you realize like in Pump It Up's rating system, generally speaking, a 200 BPM song in this difficulty range is probably like a stamina, in quotes, oriented chart, which means it will have some drills, some streams, but never either of those two in a very technical way or in a very, very, very exhausting way, especially if you come from a game like ITG. A 15, 20 second long run that's mostly drills, that doesn't have a lot of crazy pivots, will not be the death of you stamina wise. So I think that the more ITG player oriented makeup of this group will lead to us seeing, both in this card draw and in the redemption bracket, a lot of these kinds of charts making it through, and very, very few Vuk, Sarabande, Mission Possible type charts, which is a bummer because, again, like I think that for some of these players, it's actually like if they had been able to get through, it would have offered like a pretty big opportunity for them to get an edge. Like I'm sure that someone like Tan or Casey, if Mission Possible gets through, they probably are way more comfortable on it than someone like Chance or Chris or Rinker. Well, Chris is like really good at doing like just about any weird pattern in a way that like, defies all logic. So I could see him basically. He's been playing for fucking ever, so I could see him, doing pretty well on all of these. I'm curious who banned what. I want there to be like a that way like a brand, like so that we have like a scarlet letter on you, like you're the guy that banned Mission Possible Blowback and everyone hates you. Like that would be cool.
Well, for the current players in the pool, banning Mission Possible Blowback was probably, whoever did that might be one of their favorite people.
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone else is probably really happy. There's probably exactly one person. See, Jev gets it. Jev and I are of like minds. One day, we'll finally meet, and we'll display our huge fan of Dolki titles together proudly. Or if you would like, Jev, you can try to get Rough Gamer Gold. I'll support you no matter what you pursue.
How are we negotiating to pull people from other games?
Fair Gamer Gold is pretty admirable. Kenny has decided that he wants to try to get Extreme Gamer, which is like pretty tough.
What is that?
That's the bads. You have to get a full combo, but you have to get a bad.
No.
Or like not a full combo, but obviously, you know what I mean? You can't get misses,
Right.
and you have to get bads, which is pretty tough. Like, quite tough. Oh, Extreme is goods? Chris, I agree. So yeah, Kenny is trying to get Superb Gamer, maybe. I don't even know. Is who in the tournament? The person that's on that machine? I believe they must be. They're probably ITG players that I just don't recognize. Slow down bad. Slow down good. The reason that you ban Night Duty is because you can't hear the song. For whatever reason, all of those Fiesta EX like emission songs, ASDF, Night Duty, they're like inaudible. I am really, really sad that Vuk didn't get played. That's a banger of a chart.
Yeah, I would have loved to see it.
I think that's the biggest pity is that these charts are in the draw for players where they're like, at my skill level, I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing this, so I'm going to ban it. If you gave this exact same card draw to like you guys who are in the top 8 already, that would be like, I absolutely, like Vuk would 100% get through, right? Like if this card draw was given to you guys, the ones that got through would be like Vuk, Night Duty, Mission Possible, Blowback, because you guys would want to try to PG them and edge out everyone else. You know that Hudson's going to PG Transicoglia and Skeptic and Aurelia every single time.
Right.
If you, at the very, very top level, were trying to get an edge, you would want the most nasty and ridiculous songs to get through. So it's almost like, it would almost be cooler to me to see like the very, very high level players still play these like awkward 20s, 21s, 22s. But by the time it gets to y'all are already playing like 23s and 24s, other bonkers stuff. Yeah, see, Jeff gets it. So are these two of our actual players, or are they just like chilling? Okay. So I don't recognize them. I think that's Chance in the red shirt.
I believe so.
And then in the black shirt, that must be... Who is in the black shirt? Who's in the black shirt? We'll pull up the names because I'll be able to figure it out from the names. I'm guessing that that is Zypherhawk. Probably, because it's not Kingly. And it's not Jelly Slosh. Yeah, there's our boy Trenchcoat. And there's Chris. So yeah, that must be Zypherhawk that's in the black with the white shorts. And yeah, I don't know anything about him as a player. We see Chance pulling off the PG on Showdown S17.
Snazzy little warm-up.
Not a bad start. Not a bad start to the affair. Meanwhile, on the other pad,
Though we still need to ban one more song though.
yeah, who are we waiting on for a ban? So in the black and black is trench coat. That is trench coat. And so we got some afterlight gaming going on. No. Yes.
Ready, pump it up.
Coin is unfortunately out of the tournament at this point. I believe he finished
New tune.
third in the redemption pool. Was it?
Can you pull back up the standings for the last redemption pool real quick? Just curious to see. Can you see the standings? Do we still have it for wave 3 or whatever? The standings for wave 3. Someone was curious how Coin did. So Coin, yeah, in the redemption pool, Coin came in 3rd place for the pool. Basically had middle of the pack scores on all 3 songs. So
We got Rinker here. He's playing his warm-up song.
yep. So Rinker doing what I would have recommended, which is playing an extremely fast song to warm up for other extremely fast songs. I'm still curious what of these last 4 is going to be banned. I'm praying it's Transicoglia. I really do not want to hear that song twice and watch it played 8 times. Nothing against the song, but it's just kind of a snooze fest. It's interesting to see that Rinker is doing those triples across the front legit rather than just bracketing them.
Yes.
I think that most extremely veteran pump players, that's kind of their... Oh,
you got
there we
your
go.
wish.
Thank God. Thank God. All right. Yeah,
Transicoglia is out.
most full-time pump players, I feel like, would definitely do the flamming like triple across the top rather than turning those, like crossing those over.
Yes.
But someone with Rinker's stamina, foot speed, overall game aptitude can do them legit and not really suffer any consequences probably. So yeah, we've got 3 200 BPM charts in this group. So a lot of fast stuff.
And honestly, we're looking at a pretty even keel across the entire set. Aurelia lets you ease into it. It's not going to have anything too crazy. Then we're going to have Skeptic, which gives you the first half practically for free. And
Yep.
then you better be ready to bracket right afterwards.
And Crossover is also a very backloaded chart. All 3 of these are very backloaded songs musically. They all have maybe like one little thing that could throw you at the beginning, but for the most part, songs that give you a solid minute 15 to get yourself ready and then work hard for 40-30 seconds. So I think for a group of 3 200 BPM songs, a more diverse spread of tech expectations than you might think. Like, these are not 3 charts that are identical to each other, even
Correct.
though they are in the same speed range, same difficulty range. I wouldn't say that any of them are like significantly hard or easy for their difficulties, but they are all a little bit different from each other. So
Hello, everyone. New tunes.
it looks like Vincent is setting the players up. Yep. So, and as soon as Chris and Trenchcoat finish up this this warm-up song, we'll be ready to go with Irelia S18. We do have 2 Hune songs out of 3. Is Broken Karma Hune? No, Broken Karma is Nato, I think. As I say, we could have had an all. I wonder if we could have ever had an all hewn set, if like cross soul or something had gotten through instead.
Ray.
Yeah, cross ray. We could have. I wonder if that will happen. If we will ever see a set in this tournament where all 3 songs are by the same artist.
I think we could have been close to having a whole full Doin set on here as well. No, never
No.
mind. For some reason I was thinking Night Duty was Doin
It might be.
under a different name.
Yeah, I don't know who AV is. I have no idea. I've always wondered that.
Because no, Night Duty doesn't show up in any of the Doin remixes. I don't
No,
know.
but it is from that era. It's from, again, it's like you find it in that folder and it's next to Pine Nut and a bunch of other Doin songs. So it's possible. What we really are all hoping for is an all Banya card draw. That would be ideal.
Oh yeah.
Chart wise, music wise, players getting angry wise. That would be a complete win, complete victory.
I don't think there is a single pool in this tournament that would let a full old school Banya set pass.
I can totally imagine top 4 being an all Banya finals. Imagine a top 4. It's like, let's say it's you, Hudson, Matt, and like Kenny or other Matt, any of the like the favorites to get there right now. I could totally see like Liad's 2, B, Hump Me Amadeus, D24 all getting through.
Well, the only problem is finals are 25 and higher,
Oh.
and a lot of those older songs cap out at 24.
Yeah, that's rough. All right, here we
We're
go.
Moving in to Aurelia S18's first song for this half of the pool. Free space has a little bit of an issue with the first drill. So really early on, he can make that up. That's not a problem.
And Zypherhawk with the drop there during the drill. The other 2 players remaining perfectly clean so far.
Yeah, Chance and Trenchcoat, I believe both FPCs.
Yep. All 4 players looking generally clean on the drills though, for sure. So Chance broke combo. Don't know if he got a bad or a miss. Trenchcoat
They're going to be roughly the same.
Trenchcoat has gotten a few grades, but hasn't broken combo yet. And
One
very
missed right at the
end.
end. I
Still,
think this is
though.
going to be very tight between Trenchcoat and Chance.
very close. I think though that all 4 players I think are going to be in like the 990 plus range.
And this might be a max combo being the difference between Chance.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely perfect!
Wow. Okay, so Chance wins with 5 more perfects because he only had 2 combo breaks. He had 4 combo breaks, but more perfects. A lower max combo. So he definitely would have lost on XX. That definitely would have been Trenchcoat's song.
Absolutely.
But because of the Phoenix score changes, Trenchcoat just barely comes in second on that song.
Yeah, 600 points. So his max combo made up a bit more for the greats that he was down.
But very, very good scores for both of them. And all 4 players did solidly. I didn't see, it looked like Zypherhawk's score was maybe a little lower than I would have expected because there were maybe some non-combo judgments that I didn't notice. But still 982k, by no means a bad start to the set. And we get two more 200 BPM songs that will test a little bit different of skills. Aurelia very triplet heavy. Skeptic is very weird stuff heavy.
I think we're going to see a pretty large difference in scores on this one. We did think that Aurelia was going to be pretty even across the board for players at this stage in the tournament. So now you're going to be doing a lot of Aurelia, slightly slower. 4 BPM doesn't matter in this
No.
case. But now you're going to start throwing in some bracket tech and
Yes.
some hold steps. So
Does this chart have a bracket drill in it, like where you have to do
It-
the heal drill?
it does not.
Okay. Because obviously the 24 has the really nasty bracket drill, and the 21 has, I think, a minor version of it.
The 24 is just gross.
The 24 is a
almost
really,
start to
really,
finish.
really disgusting chart.
Chance looks like he's already picked up a miss somewhere.
It's, I didn't see the exact step, but I think it may have been on one of the brackets coming out of the drills.
And that might be an unfamiliarity point with the songs. And I'm thinking, okay, do I bracket or do I jump these? On the lower level charts, sometimes you don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting too, to point out, to notice right now, the difference in the scroll rates. The players on the one machine are playing much slower than the players on the other machine. And Chance's scroll rate looks really slow to me, which I think probably speaks to being more of an ITG player, not necessarily knowing his threshold for pump reading, but first combo drop for Zypherhawk, first combo drop for Free Space, first combo drop for Trenchcoat, all in quick succession, and Chance, the person who dropped it. Wow.
This is
Real
everyone-
close.
anyone's game
Real
right
close.
now.
Real close. I was
Trenchcoat-
about to say Chance had just gotten the edge back, but now he's struggling a bit here with his brackets. And I don't know.
Now, this is very hard to track. I did notice everyone's life bar except for Free Spaces did dip below max for a little bit. Using solely that as a barometer, he might have fared better on the actual bracket second.
I was gonna say I felt like Trenchcoat did the best, and I was correct. My
Yes.
instinct was there. All 4 players, 6 or 7 misses. All 4 players, 960 plus perfects, but Chance with the fewest perfects, and Trenchcoat with the best composite score, just barely. And so, Trenchcoat now takes the lead in this little group through 2 songs, due to I don't know, maybe he had better chart familiarity that allowed him to get through some of those tricky bracket sections. But Chance definitely struggled, and I would guess that that was a game knowledge check right there for him a little bit, where he was not quite prepared for the amount of tech that he ended up seeing. I would guess that, I don't know. I obviously he could actually just know, and it could have just been a tough run for him. There's any number of whatevers, but that is definitely a chart where you can get thrown off pretty easily by having to have your feet be in some awkward positions. And his score was good, but Trenchcoat's was very good. So
Speaking of chart familiarity, as long as this crossover chart ends how we think it does, with the anchored run, that could have a huge difference in how this works.
does the gimmicks at the beginning, I'm guessing, but they're probably pretty simple, like the like stutter gimmick, like with the hold freezes.
I believe they removed the actual stutters from
Okay.
every one of the charts.
Okay. So
Steps are intact as you would have hit them, but it no longer stutters.
okay. So yeah, Chance is reading on 530 AV, while on the other side we have Chris reading at 700, it looks like, and Trenchcoat reading close to that. So a huge difference in scroll speed. And
I
again,
believe Zypher would have been close. I think he's sitting at 570.
yeah. So a huge difference. And If it were me and I were Chance's friend, I would go over there and tell him to play 70 BPM faster.
You could
'Cause-
always just give them the meme and tell them to go up to 573.
Yeah, that would at least help a little bit, because 530 looks so slow on these songs. With like the 200 scroll, I read pretty slow generally on like doubles especially, but man, Chance is really gutting it out with these 530 reads.
I'm going to say that probably doesn't fare too well for Trenchcoat on this song.
No.
He didn't seem familiar with very initial gimmicks, so the end may take him by surprise.
Yeah. There's also the middle gimmick section, which could probably throw him off, but you never know.
있었던 나의 감정이어도 지내 묻혀져 있던 희망이 나를 울려 이빨에 손끝을 비게 하네 허무함 속에 꺾였던 이지들과 영원한 속에 묻혔던 희망들이
Ooh.
여져 떨어진 감정들을 다시금
All four players handling those weird like 24th-ish streams well and hitting most of the 16ths, but we see drop from free space on the freeze taps, it looks like. These are very tricky because you have to hold those freezes for so long, and cheating them is so hard.
Wow, Cypher, only one maintaining max combo so far.
Yep.
Players are going to get a small break before the very end. I think you're right, and this is the anchor run.
마음이 다시 올라
Dead roll?
Yeah. Weird, very tight triples. I see Cypher still maintaining a full combo. I think he's through the worst of it. Oh, a drop on the last note of the chart on a down left, I believe. But a very, very impressive combo. A very impressive score. All four players, good scores.
Cypher definitely took that by a pretty comfortable margin. 2,000 points when everything is this tightly grouped.
Yeah. And
Very solid.
thus far, one of the bigger margins on one of these songs at the very top, but I mean, that's anyone's game. I feel like any of the remaining players could possibly PG that chart.
Yes.
And yeah, I think so. Wow, we've got a very close overall spread of these three players coming out of the stage. I believe I saw that two of them were two of the players were tied and one was one behind. Oh yeah, so Free Space is in last out of the group, but still very solid scores, which, you know, bodes well for the redemption bracket. And then the other three players, it's all kind of a coin toss situation right now, where the gaps between them on individual songs may end up separating them if none of these last four players emerges as the bracket winner. Anything could really happen here.
It can, because a 1 point difference between first, second, and third with 4 more players to come. Yeah, that will probably change greatly within the very first song.
I'm not taking back what I said about Chance's speed mod. He did very good, but he did very good in spite of his speed mod. I think if he were playing faster, he would do even better. I'm saying this to praise Chance and say that he's overcoming a self-imposed limitation. We need him to get him to take the weights off, or maybe he's keeping the weights on so that we pump it up players stay humble.
And you do need that sometimes.
He might be so good at the game at a real speed mod that he doesn't want us to see his true skill level. So now we have Casey, Ranker, Ton, and who's the last remaining player in this group?
That's
Oh, it's Kingly.
That's right.
Kingley, one of Florida's finest gamers. Kingley is obviously the player out of this group that I know the best, although I've known Tom the longest. But Kingley, they are an incredibly good player, and they do weird shit like get their Pump It Up card active for Phoenix for the first time, and then proceed to step on the machine and swipe their card for the first credit of Phoenix with their card. And Triple S Plus, what's it called? The D22, the really bracket heavy one.
Showdown?
Showdown. Literally, their first set of Phoenix, they Triple S Showdown D22, or maybe even Triple S Plus, which is pretty bonkers. So they're very, very strong. They're a DDR player originally, but they're a very, very strong player with like bracket tech and things of that nature. This group of songs is definitely outside of their wheelhouse, but they might be able to perform really, really well on Skeptic. And, you know, I don't know how their foot speed is these days, but I'm excited to see what they can put up. Obviously, Rinker, a legend of dance games, I would say. He's incredibly good at just about every facet of the game.
Yeah, I have seen him perform ridiculously well in multiple ITG tournaments. I'm assuming he doesn't play DDR. I've never heard of him doing that. He may have started there, but no longer competitively performs.
Yeah, I don't think he's really a serious DDR player at all, if he even plays the game. And he's a very solid Pump It Up player for someone who it is clearly not a priority. I will never forget though, one of the funniest like things for me as a tournament attendee was I think it was probably the first storm that I ever saw Rinker at. It was he was playing Pump, and one of the charts that came up in his card draw was Ararang S22.
Oh no.
And I'm guessing that his logic when he goes into pick bands, when he doesn't really know the game that well, is probably just like let whatever is the hardest thing possible through, so that, you know, I can use my like normal game skill, my flat skill to whatever. And I turned to my friends and I was like, there's absolutely no way in hell Rinker has any idea what he's about to play. Like, there's no fucking chance that he would have let this chart through if he had any idea what it was. And sure enough, I don't even know if he finished the song. Like, he was like so just completely baffled by everything that he was seeing on the screen that he just like, and it's crazy because he's just such a talented dance game player all across the board. And almost any other S22, he probably would have been able to at least muster a good attempt.
Oh,
but,
yeah, I can't think of another one he would have troubles like that. Like, that chart is so unique, and that just happened to come up.
Yeah, so not to
In case you haven't heard, Pool 5 is moving to tomorrow.
Pool 5 is moving to tomorrow. This is the last pool for the day. Wow, wait, what? Pool 5 is the one before top 8?
Yes. So
Wow.
we will be seeing
Oof.
5, top 8, and top 4 tomorrow.
We're going to have to be real efficient tomorrow if we want to get this done in time. But
Do we have all day tomorrow?
I do not know. That's a very good question. I hope so, because
I'm assuming this probably has to do with some conflicts with other rhythm game tournaments
Yes.
going out tonight.
for sure. For sure. But yeah, I was not relaying that anecdote to make fun of Rinker. It's
No.
It's very funny though. It's a very charming.
Well, absolutely, because he has so many. He really is multifaceted in how good he is at dance games, and a lot of that does translate laterally. But as we've talked about time and time again tonight, chart knowledge really is key.
Yeah.
Not just from a playing perspective, but from a veto perspective, things you don't want to play or that you don't want your opponent to have.
Yeah.
Because I think the deeper you get into a tournament like this, knowing your opponents and knowing what you don't want to allow them to play is extremely critical.
Yes, and I think that that like player-to-player familiarity is going to naturally be really high at an event like this, where you've got so many people who have known each other for so long. You know, when we get again to the later stages of this tournament, and we see Hudson, yourself, Matt, bird mat, like there's a lot of familiarity there where players like know, okay, this is what this guy is strong at, this is what this guy isn't strong at. But again, in these earlier stages, you're not going to necessarily see that familiarity, and people might let stuff through that is not that might be favorable to other players besides themselves. But I think that also, for as we've seen already, like we've seen very good scores, but we've seen like nothing like a set where someone PG'd everything, right? So like as good as these players are and as well as they've played, they still should probably be orienting themselves to just picking what they can do best at and letting the chips fall where they may, rather than trying to get into that like meta game level of beating the other people or picking something that they're bad at but that they're less bad at than other people. I think that when you get to the top end of the tournament, sure, that makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
But in this range, it's just like, let stuff through that you think you can score well on and then try your best to not make mistakes.
Now, this is interesting. I definitely see what Brinker's trying to do by playing some of the charts he is, but let me ask you this. With your current pool and your next pool that you're going to be in, having songs in the difficulty range which you're practicing on, do you want the people that you know are there watching your pool see what you may struggle with?
That is an interesting thing, especially because, again, in the case of someone like Rinker, none of us know how much Pump It Up he plays or how good he is, like on a week-to-week or month-to-month or year-to-year basis. Everyone knows Rinker is a good Pump It Up player and a good fundamental dance game player, but like for all I know, he's been really grinding Pump the last 6 months, and when he plays something like the Choir and like does good but not amazing on it, you're like, okay, well, maybe he's not so great at these kinds of charts, and if you're possibly going to play him later, you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about him as much on these kinds of things. So I don't know. I think that overall his approach to warm-ups is probably pretty good. He's playing stuff that's like hard for him and pushing himself,
Yes,
and getting himself into the right mindset. I think if anything, these charts are going to be a considerable walk back for him from what he's warmed up with, especially if he warms up with Boom.
Hello?
Wow, this is quite a warm-up chart.
yeah, he's doing another 20.
Hey,
So-
maybe he wants to get the skeptic bracket brain going. This is one of Dulky's finest charts, by the way. I think the Dulky fans in the chat will agree with me.
I actually do like this chart. I can't say many positive things about a lot of the charts that are immediately coming to mind. I do like this, and I think Curiosity Overdrive has overall probably the best grouping of charts that he's made.
New tunes. Double.
It's tough to say. I think Curiosity Overdrive is up there. I think that this song is pretty consistently solid across the board. Is there any song of his that I like the charts for even more? I feel like right now I really like the Giselle charts. I haven't played all of them a lot, but I feel like they're all pretty cool. They're a little weird in the ratings, though. Giselle D20 should definitely be like a 17. or an
Yes.
18.
Yeah,
But-
it's like Dolky really wanted to channel Wind Force and said, all right, for the first 2/3 of this song, it's going to be a 14. And then for the very last part of it, 21.
Although his peak example of that is C.
Warring Up with Stager, another interesting choice for this part of the tournament.
Yes. Well,
You know, I would not expect this to get left in by anybody.
no. Kingly loves gimmicks, though. This is right in their wheelhouse. So they are not surprising me in the slightest by playing this. This is a DDR player at heart we're talking about. So they love this stuff. But no, I was going to say, talking about Dulky and his charts that end very, very, very hard. C. A song that literally is only hard for 1 second most
Yes.
of the time. Like literally 1 second. Like
Yes.
it's literally like there's one screen worth of notes that is hard, and the rest of the chart's like pretty fine.
Do you not think sudden appearance image S21 is so much easier than C S22?
You're trolling, right?
100%.
Sudden appearance image S21 is a masterpiece. If it's in the 23 folder where it belongs.
See, you almost got me with that.
I had you in the first half. No, I don't think Rinker is a DDR KAC grinder. I don't know who you could be thinking of. I'm trying to think of who you could be confusing him with. He is like the oldest guard ITG legend that is still playing at this point, though.
I feel like if he felt like KAC was something he wanted to pursue, he absolutely could get there.
For sure. Like, he is just a legend at ITG in almost every imaginable facet. But I think that the thing that he's probably most famous for and has been for 15 years or 17 years or whatever at this point is like stamina stuff, like just doing these incredibly long, incredibly fast songs and making it look easy. I think he had like way back in the day, like quad stars on like 16s and 17s that were just like 10-minute long, 220 BPM runs. So I'm sure that he is looking at this group and thinking, as long as I don't mess up a bracket here or a bracket there, this is like right in his wheelhouse. A bunch of fast songs with some stream, some tech, but no heavy dose of anything.
Level 18.
But yeah, you probably have seen him and Chris on ITG, like for sure. Like he is as old school an ITG player as they come, more or less. Short of bringing Mike Quaintance or Damien back, Rinker is about as old as it gets. I remember a video of him playing. There was a custom for God, what was it? It was an S15 or a S15, an ITG 15. Hell, I can't remember, but I just remember watching it like in my college dorm room and thinking it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Maybe my first apartment.
Weren't you in college in 1994?
Was I in college in 1994? Yes.
We're both old.
I think you're older than me,
I think I am, yeah.
just by a little bit, but I think you are older. All right, here we go.
Got 3 of 4 players.
Yeah, who are we missing?
Now, I am 100% expecting a very strong showing from
Oh, wait.
all 3 of these players.
We're missing Tan. So Tan is currently busy with SMX, so that's why we only have 3 players here. And they are off and running. Ooh, a very early combo drop by Kingley. The other 2 look perfect thus far. I definitely do feel a little bit here for Kingley. It's a little weird to go playing by yourself during a tournament, like with no one next to you. It's a little uncomfortable for me.
Well, maybe he prefers that.
It's possible that they do, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, Casey broke.
Dropped
Rinker has
combo
not.
once, so he's roughly going to be tied up with Kingley now, because I haven't seen much else in terms of grades from any player. AC is having a pretty difficult time with some of these straightforward runs.
Yeah. That could be a lot of different things. It could just be fatigue from other games.
Could be
It
gassed.
It could also just not be. 204 is fast.
It is.
It could be a experience thing of working at this extra BPM. But yeah, you're not wrong, Casey. Casey definitely with a few stumbles there. Rinker very clean throughout the whole chart.
This may be a perfect game for Rinker.
Yes, it's quite possible. And in the first group, the best score was a 996. So even if it's not, or 996. So even if it weren't, Rinker would
And
be
it
a
is.
favorite. It is. Wow. Okay. So Rinker with the 1 million point PG, clearly in first through this song. Kingley's 993 puts them in fourth, I believe. Casey is in 5th or 6th from the group.
Now,
But Rinker with a pretty dominant position here, and given that the best score on Skeptic was Trenchcoat's 988, it is certainly possible that Rinker could bury another first place score here with something close to a PG.
It's possible. Now, you did say earlier that Rinker may just be trying to push himself on Pump. So if he's not actively in the S19 folder, a lot of Skeptic can really take you by surprise, if not just the brackets, the holds with the steps in there.
Yes.
Because a lot of those are very non-traditional for what you would see in other S19s.
Yes, for sure. It is very possible that that this chart throws Rinker for a loop. But again, you know, push comes to shove, I have faith that he will adapt to any weird stuff he sees in a chart, and that he will hit this one out of the park. Kingly, I think they know this song pretty well. They played a lot of XX. They actually started playing Pump during XX. I remember being there for like one of their very first sessions. So I think that they'll probably be familiar with the song, familiar with the chart. They really like to play songs in this difficulty range.
And if it was early on in XX's release, this was the original quote-unquote boss song of XX.
Yes.
So this would have gotten a lot of play.
I think that they're probably very familiar with it. I don't know, again, with Casey, I never can be sure. Casey will sometimes just pull out these scores that are just like ridiculous looking to me based on what I know of their pump playing, so it's possible they're familiar with this song. Let's see it. I'm very excited. This chart's very fun to watch. So right now, Kingly looks like they dropped combo very early, and I didn't see what the spot was.
It may have been a miss bracket. It does look like all the players are opting to bracket the jumps in this part of the song.
Which I would do personally. I think I saw Rinker get a great, but I haven't seen Casey get one. So very tight right now at the top.
No issues from anybody in the easier part of this, but it's going to start getting progressively more complex as we go.
Yep, and there you see right when you said that, Kingly dropped one, and then Casey dropped one. But Rinker is keeping it good. These step jumps are quite nasty. These are what gave all the players trouble in the first heat. But Rinker is looking good so far. Gets the drill.
Brackets, he picks up grades, but when the next highest score is a 98.8, that's a grade is not an issue.
It's all the triples and a very clean, very, very nice run for Rinker. He's definitely going to be happy with this one.
Yeah, this is very easily a triple S plus.
Yeah, 997, 996 probably. The note count for that count is surprisingly low. For that song is surprisingly low, but it's still probably going to be like 996. Wow, only the two. So the two greats that I thought I saw were the only two I saw.
Yeah.
Damn, that is a hell of a score. Casey also very impressive score. Casey's score is I think good enough for second best out of this group. Yeah, wow. So Casey's score was second best out of the group right now. Kingly's score was basically right around the kind of middle of the pack of the lower end. They just had a few too many drops in like various scattered parts of the chart. Still a very solid score on a tricky 19, but Rinker absolutely has the ball in his court right now. He is overwhelmingly the favorite here. It would require some kind of
Level 18.
very poor performance on crossover for him to fall behind French Code at this point. And I suspect, given how clean he's played these first two songs, that he's more than ready for the third one as well.
Yeah, there's nothing in the crossover chart that I would see that would really throw him off his game.
No. That being said, given that all three of the first four players 990k the song, if he does slip up, it will be very easy for him to fall out of the triple S range and lose some points. So while I think that like Rinker is the overwhelming favorite at the start of this song, it's still very easy for him to end up, third or fourth in this pool with a poor performance here.
Because that could be just one dropped hold.
Yeah.
And now you're below 990.
And we already saw in the last run that Trenchcoat was the one that missed one of the first opening holds, and then the later on there's the second brackets gimmick section, and there's the freeze taps. Like, it's very easy to make a minor mistake here. So this is it. This is where Rinker has to stay composed. You can see the frustration for Casey there, missing the triplet. He knows that that was a pretty easy step for him probably on most runs.
And he's played enough Hump to know that one bad like that, that's going to make a huge difference at the end of the song.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, but Rinker did get a bad there. I think he, during the freeze into the tap, I think he tapped a little bit early. So right now, Kingsley is, oh man, say it.
You didn't even finish your sentence.
I didn't even get to finish. I'm sorry, Kingsley. I love you. I love you, friend.
All the players that have dropped combo at some point, so
yep.
No misses that
Another miss for Rinker, it looked like.
Yeah.
I think maybe he let off the freeze a little early there.
Yeah,
and I was saying
like a hold drop.
I was saying this song, when I was saying during the last run, this song, it's very tight, the window that you have to move from a freeze to another freeze. And if you don't turn them, it's very easy to get drops. But he's been clean since then. Rinker very clean through the finish.
Yeah.
That might not be enough to be the best score in the whole group on the chart, but it's certainly going to be up there. Yeah, 995.464. A lot of props to Kingsley for the 992. I saw some non-combo judgments all sprinkled throughout that made it look like they were having a really tough time with the chart, but a very good score overall. Good enough for third in that group currently, or fourth maybe. But Rinker with another top tier score. I believe that unless we get some kind of miracle here out of Todd, Rinker will be the one moving on from this group. He won 2 songs and barely lost the third, so none of the other players can push him out. It's just whether or not Tan can one-up his scores. And given that he PG'd one, got 2 greats on another, that's going to be quite the tough road to travel.
Right, and at that point, all right, so we already talked about earlier that Tan has been going all day. He's either been TOing, he's been playing, he's currently playing now. At what point do you decide, you know what, I'll take a chance in the redemption pool? Do you actually push through all 3 songs when you're now used to Step Maniacs and not playing 5-panel?
I think that there's no chance in hell Tan does that. As a competitor, now I personally would. I'd be lazy as hell and be like, yeah, I suck at these songs. I'm moving on with my life.
I see no shame in that whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's, from a gamesmanship perspective, it might be correct to just, take the low road, but I can't imagine that Tan is going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to sit this one out and play the next set, hope the card draw is more favorable. I think he'll push through these. Now, that being said, maybe if he had access to what we have and he saw that maybe like his first score was already not good enough, then maybe he would just be like, okay.
Make a more informed decision with it. So just to clarify, I'm not saying not play any of the songs, but he's going to be going on Aurelia, and like, hey, I'm going to need to a perfect game it, and if I don't, can I perfect game the other 2? Well, I don't know. Skeptic's really hard.
Yeah.
You know, where do I stop and say I'm gonna use a bit more energy for the next group? Because this overall for the 19s and 20s turned out to be pretty tame. We had fast songs, but nothing that's really stamina heavy.
Nope.
Next group, we could have Bukagen, we could have gimmick charts.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Oh, hey, I would love to run this card draw back, replace the songs that we're playing now with 3 random ones, and do it again.
No, 3 ones that I picked specifically. But Tan, right now, PG. Off to a wonderful start on Aurelia.
Bro.
And
He got it.
Tan with
What
the
the-
PG,
Yep,
striking
he
back
tied. He
one
beat.
blow against the Rinker Empire.
Oh my God! All right,
Well, we
Neither of us.
gotta fight, boys.
neither of us were going to
What
say
the
anything.
fuck?
We looked at each other. I was not going to talk.
What?
Tan with the
We
apparent
were
sight
just
read
told that was a
PG.
sight read as well.
I'm not surprised. The gamer still got it in him. The king of Easy Street in Ocala, Florida.
Why don't we even play this game?
Mr. I don't even play this game with
That-
the PG on the 18.
That
Let's go.
is disgusting. All
Let's
right.
go, baby. All right.
He did one. Now, Skeptic, I would say the most difficult song out of this set.
By far.
He
And-
does not necessarily have to PG it,
No.
but
And
he always can.
Even if he doesn't PG it, he can still get a lot of space. Okay. He can still get a lot of space back on crossover. So that's the interesting thing here is the scores on this song. There was such a giant gap between Rinker and the next best. The gap between Rinker and the next best score was 10,000 points. So Tan, as long as Tan gets north of a 988, he is still in the fight. So
And-
he
and-
just needs to get above a 988 to still have a chance to unseat Rinker.
Yes.
If he does that, even if his score here is worse than Rinker's, he can win by taking crossover. So Tan's goal here is a triple S, essentially.
Yes.
He does not have to be perfect. He just has to be very, very good. And if he is, then he can work on being perfect for the last song.
And I'm really spitballing in my head about trying to think how many greats is that? Because we saw Rinker got a full combo.
Yes. And 2 greats. And it was
Yes.
a 999-2. So presumably
He needs
20
to-
greats or so? 22? The bigger thing is avoiding the non-combo misses here
Right.
because it's very easy in those bracket sections and those jump freeze tab sections to mess up. So let's see it. Let's see
Any
it.
hold.
I believe in Tan.
I do too.
fine.
So
It's fine.
it is fine because he can have second and he can still run back.
But he definitely wants to close this out as well as he can because it will be crucial for tiebreakers. Ooh, we got a couple more misses in those last few brackets. I'm guessing this is still going to be like a 991, 992, but maybe not. The penalty for misses is pretty hard on a chart with so few notes.
It is, and if he is below 988, then he is not going to be able to take Rinker's spot no matter what.
Yes. Oh, he did
Okay.
it. He met the first of the two challenges. So now what he needs to do, I don't think he has any. Yes, he has no chance of beating Rinker on tiebreakers. So the only way that he can win here is by outright winning crossover by unseating Zypherhawk's 995912.
Well, he could, no, he could just beat Rinker. Rinker is sitting at second for the song. If he beats him, he's going to push him down one. And
Oh, yeah. Wait. No. Because wouldn't they would go 878, 887. They would be tied on points.
Well, the 7 would drop to 6.
Oh, the 7 would drop to a
877.
6, and he'd be 87. Wait. If he beat Rinker but lost to Zypher, he would be at 22,
It would still be
and Rinker would be also at 22.
Yeah.
So he can literally only win by beating Zypherhawk's score because he
Yes.
can't win on tiebreakers.
Yeah, he does have to push him down another spot while getting first.
He needs a 996 effectively. A 995900 would not do it.
A 996 on crossover S18. You don't have a lot of wiggle room.
Nope. But it's definitely possible. His run on Skeptic was very, very clean for the most part. He just had a few little flubs on some brackets.
Right.
Crossover will not present those same opportunities for him to make those kinds of mistakes.
Correct.
And he's looked very clean in every other aspect of his game. So I think Tan could absolutely do it. And hopefully it will be every bit as tense as his last couple songs have been. Regardless of whether or not Tan emerges here, a very, very, very impressive set, given that we were thinking he might sit it out entirely.
Oh, no.
Figuratively sit it out.
He knew the beginning.
He did.
Very good sign for this.
너의 마음이 나를 잊고 있었던 나의 감정이어도 지내 묻혀져 있던 희망이 나를 울려 이빨에 손끝을 비게 하네 허무함 속에 꺾였던 이지들과 영원한 속에 묻혔던 희망들이 홀로 남겨져 떨어진 감정들을 다시금 피어올리게 하네 끝없이 이어진 상처들과 끝없이 이어진 인연들이 날 잊고 나에게 주어진 시간들이 물밀듯이 다시 흐르네
I jinxed it. It's fine.
One non-combo, but that's okay.
That's fine.
남겨진 희망들과 빛바랜 마음이 다시 올라 아주 나를 믿던 기억들과 홀로 남겨뒀던 상처들이 날 날려얀지로 돌았던 위선들이 나락으로 다시 떨어지네
The
He hits the
dream
ending
might be
clean.
alive. He got quite a few greats on the last run.
Yeah, I saw like 2 greats on consecutive steps and a drill. Oh my god. And he just barely fails the mission. He needed a 996 and he got a 995 5-4.
That
So
that was one great.
all maybe two. If you look at it, it's about he lost about 4,800 points and he had 7 non-combos. So if you figure each one's worth 700 points, the bad probably was, like the bad certainly did him
Bad
in.
would
If
be
he,
about
if,
2.
if he had the great, he definitely. If the bad were a great, he like almost certainly wins the song. If the bad were a perfect, he definitely wins the song.
So first person to promote out of this pool is Rinker.
By
Very
the
strong showing. that held
Tiniest
up.
of margins. A very, 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 very close pool. And I think the thing that I'm excited to see here is that this next pool will probably not have 3 200 BPM songs as the 3 chosen charts. We could see we could see a very, 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 very different pool for the next group of songs. I talked earlier about like the crazy kind of stuff you see in 18s and 20s, and we could see a completely different makeup of songs for this second card draw. So
And I really don't want to take anything away from Tom. That was an amazing run after going pretty much nonstop for the past 2 days and sight reading at least one of the songs he played.
yeah, he crushed it. That Aurelia PG on a sight read is very impressive. His mistakes in Skeptic were very very weird, tricky brackets. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Let's be real.
already-
Let's not get our hopes up. I'm not delusional.
There's so much in here.
There's absolutely no way Phantom gets through, unfortunately.
I don't see Phantom getting through, but if it doesn't, 1950 S20. I mean, just the last run of it alone, there's a lot going on. Requiem, even though the gimmicks are gone, it's still a very highly technical chart. Quick Brown Fox, 200 BPM, a lot more runs than any of the other songs we've seen so far. Yeah,
Shocking the world, Phantom gone immediately.
Yeah. So, and that's not to take away Red Snow. Very, very streamy for a S19.
So, my favorite chart out of all of these, and the one that if it somehow gets left through, will maybe make some fools out of some non-pump mains, is Clue S18.
Yep.
Clue S18 has a very strange gimmick to it that can be quite tricky if you don't know what you're supposed to do, and I could very easily imagine someone like Rinker getting thrown by it. Oh, well, I guess Rinker's moving on, so that doesn't matter. Tan maybe won't know it. Some of the people that are not pump mains might not know it. God mode, cool chart, very, very crazy ending, where even if you are doing really strong going into the last 10-15 seconds, you can easily have your run go from a 990 to a 950 in a matter of seconds.
Kujin Kairu Labyrinth, if I remember correctly, is going to have a pretty strong ending, but it's fairly tame for the remainder.
Yes. It's it's what you'd expect. It's got like a long run. It's got some bracketing, some like easier like 8th note bracketing type stuff. It's like pretty chill, pretty simple as S20s go.
But it is 2:15, which is going to make it the fastest song we may play so far.
Yes. Other like in terms of like actual 16s, because we saw Repentance earlier, but that was 240.
240, highest you're seeing is 12s.
Yeah. So this is going to be the fastest 16 note stream song we've seen if it gets through. Requiem taken
good.
out. Okay.
Good removal.
So
I think that's good for everybody.
Yeah, I think that it's possible that no one knows what Clue does. I also think people probably probably think that they have an idea of what Sugar Conspiracy Theory is, but it's actually a pretty weird chart.
It is.
Like, it's not as straightforward. Like, you compare that to Transacoglia at a slower BPM, but similar and in the same difficulty range, and Sugar Conspiracy Theory is way more convoluted and bizarre.
If I remember correctly, Sugar Conspiracy Theory has an S18 and an S19, correct?
Ooh, you may be right, and I may be getting them confused, but I don't know.
Maybe not, because they're both weird in a completely different way.
Okay.
I personally remember the S18 feeling harder for me, but they both feel like two S19s.
Okay. That's quite probable. I really want to see Clue get through. I really
want to see
want to
Clue.
see Clue.
I want to see 1950, and I'm okay with the toss-up between Sugar Conspiracy Theory or Red Snow.
Yeah, Kokugen it's whatever. It's fine. Sugar Conspiracy Theory goes.
Okay.
So now we are guaranteed to get one of Clue,
Clue
and
or 1950.
which is cool. And I hope it's Clue.
Yeah, and I do
God, I
think
hope it's-
Red Snow is probably a really strong sleeper chart in here too, because
Yes.
not only is it pretty streamy, it's consistently streamy, and it's technical.
Yes, it's a very weird chart. I can see someone here. I don't know who's left to ban, but I could definitely see someone just banning one of the 200 BPM songs and saying, screw it, we run with the other one.
Right.
Which means that we will get to see Clue, and then we will get to see who has done their homework. And if Clue gets through, I think it will strongly favor the people that play in the second half.
Yes.
Chris pointing out that, yeah, there's no way Clue slips by, but we can all pray. We can all pray. Yes.
Hey, Red Snow gone.
Red
Oh my
Snow
God.
gone. Clue has made it in. I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
Now, where Red Snow being gone may disadvantage some of the people that are left. If you are a pump main, you probably want a Red Snow in there.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be getting the 170 BPM 16 tech. You're going to be getting really difficult turns for that difficulty range. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing that. Instead, we're going to get a hell of a gimmick chart. A 1950, obviously not the hardest chart for it, but it still has one hell of an ending.
Yeah.
And Cockagen, all right, I guess it's going to be a warm-up. That could be anyone's game.
Yes, I think Kokugen will probably favor. So I know that Chris is good at these kinds of charts. He's really good at doing like fast, straightforward-ish stream, which Kokugen has a lot of. I think that probably I would guess that Tan. I mean, we just saw Tan do really well on a bunch of 200 songs, so it's possible that he's fine with both Kokugen and 1950. But those were songs that were less long stream heavy, and since he's mostly playing SMX these days, I'm guessing that he's not as into the like doing 215 for a very long time
Right.
stuff. But I mean, his performance in the last round was so good that I can see him doing fine anyway. Zypherhawk is a mystery to me. His performance was very solid across the board, but also very uneven. He had by far the worst Irelia score and the best crossover score.
Which is very bizarre because I would put, Skeptic was the hardest, but I would expect if you're good at one, you should be really good at the other.
Yeah,
And maybe it's nerves, could just be tired. I mean, in this time zone, we are getting pretty later in the evening. A lot
Yeah.
of these players have been going either all day or multiple days at this point.
I also don't remember what Zypherhawk warmed up with, but if he didn't properly warm up into Irelia, that score would make a lot more sense. If he warmed up in like the 160, 170 range, and then it's suddenly doing these 204 triples and stuff, I could see that causing some issues. But here we go. We're gonna see, I'm guessing
At Trenchcoat,
Kokugen first.
yes. Trenchcoat, Chansar is going to be playing. Zypher is up, and I'm not sure if we're going to get a fourth or if. So it's something we do.
Casey
need to tell-
dropped.
Yes, Casey did drop. Probably would have been playing as part of this group.
Yes. So we will have 3 and then 3, it looks like. It seems like the players are maybe warming up here. Yeah, they're getting warm again. I guess we've kind of decided that since we're not running another wave after this, we can give the players some freedom to take some time and warm up again.
Oh yeah, we originally were looking at a 10 p.m. stop time for tonight, but there's no way we're getting through another entire pool plus redemption by then, so we are pushing that to tomorrow.
Yep. Chris also dropped, so we are down to 5 players total for the group. So yeah, we got 5 players remaining here, and I'm excited to see if we get one dominant win here out of Tan, who out of these 5 players that are left, Tan did the best in the original setup out of the by far. He had a very, very consistent across the board performance. So that would make him the favorite here, seemingly. But we have 200 BPM charts, but they're still pretty different from the last ones. And then we have one 140 BPM chart that is extraordinarily different from anything that got played last time. And I honestly, if anything, I would say Tan is even more favored on that, as long as he knows what he's getting into.
Yes, Clue, the S18 would have been around when he was still really heavy into punk.
Yeah. So
That was a Prime 2 chart, if I remember.
I think you're correct. It may even be Prime 1, honestly. I didn't play a lot in that era, but
That was an
yeah, you might be right. So it's Prime 2? Okay. So regardless, though, that song is one that Tan is almost certainly at least a little familiar with, and it's more weird. It's not really a very pump it up song or chart in a lot of ways. So it's got a lot of weird crossover tech and stuff, which I'm sure Tom will be fine with. It's got a weird gimmick. I don't know.
Well, with
My
him,
ears are being bombarded right now with Mope Mope.
yeah,
It's-
Mope Mope it's really not fun for anyone.
No.
So
I almost got I got threatened with violence against my personage playing Mope Mope in the Daytona Beach Dave & Buster's one time. I was playing the S23 and a small child like walked near the machine, and I wasn't like worried about my score. I didn't really care, but I was like, "Excuse me, can you please get your child away? I don't want to step on your child's hand." And the woman yelled at me that she was going to call her boyfriend to come beat me up for talking rudely to her. So Mope Mope and Daytona Beach and I have a long and storied history together.
you know, that tracks. I feel like you could remove that from Dave & Buster's, put that story in almost any round one, and the exact same thing could happen.
Certainly, but Daytona Beach adds a probability factor of like 1.5 to 1.8. The insanity here is on a whole other level. Can I tell Vincent? Vincent! Jev, I'll tell Vincent as soon as I see him. You're not the first person this weekend to say that. I've literally already heard Matt tell him directly, Matt Miller tell Vincent directly how much he loves that UCS. We talked about it. Yes, the other person is Matt.
All right, these three players setting up for Kakujin S20.
I sometimes forget which one this one is and which one Telling Fortune Flower is, but this one doesn't have the lyrics. But it's one of the many clock-themed songs from XX.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well, that XX decided that a clock happening in the song was something that they needed to make 6 songs do that they licensed.
Yes, and it has to be a part of the BGA too, just for
Yes.
consistency's sake.
And if it's not part of the BGA, because it's a Dreamcatcher song, they would just make the arrows do it.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong in the slightest. I've thought about doing it in the past. Pump It Up BGA trivia, by the way. So if you're watching the stream and you think that would be fun, say so, and I will try to have something ready by bite.
Several misses right off from Zypherhawk, and I'm probably going to chalk that up that this may be a chart brand new to him.
Wait, am I? What? Where do you see the misses? Aren't they
I'm
all?
sorry, I said misses greats.
Oh, okay.
So that was my mistake.
Yeah, I was very confused. All right. Two of our 3 players have broken combo. Notably, the only one who hasn't is the person who's playing this song that a scroll rate where it looks like it's DDR third mix. Chance handling these tough freeze crossovers like it's nothing. Oh, I jinxed him.
Oh, Chance dropping a lot in the brackets.
Not an easy section there for Trenchcoat either, and Cypher is sort of struggling with it, but
I'm actually thinking Cypher. Ooh, this run.
the very end caught Cypher. The slowdown definitely got to him eventually. This is tough. all three players were juggling performance there. I think Chance is going to be the ultimate winner out of this three.
I'm actually thinking Cypher may have taken this.
No, Chance with a huge perfect
yeah.
lead.
Yeah.
Huge perfect lead. Yeah. Still though, it's very much anyone's game here. Interestingly, stage clearing does not matter for this tournament. So even though Zypher stage failed and Trenchcoat did not, Zypher still in the lead.
Over.
Look, don't get me wrong. I love reading slow, Dave Scotty. I love reading slow, but reading 215 BPM scroll rate songs on 530 auto velocity is maniac stuff.
Yeah, no,
Like,
thank you.
that's insane to me. I mean, that shows some vision.
Level 18.
All right, now this is the fun one.
This is the Determinator, one
Yes.
that we are really looking forward to.
This is also, I would say, very advantageous for the two players that are not playing it right now.
Yep.
If I am them, I am watching this chart. They may not know that they should be watching this chart. Tan and who else do we have left that I'm forgetting? Casey and Chris are out. Who's the last player that hasn't played? Who's the last player that isn't? Oh, Kingly. They are someone who loves these kinds of charts. I would guess that Kingly is excited that this chart is in the pool because they know a lot of these songs.
Right.
So I think Kingly doesn't have to watch. I don't know. Tan is probably too busy with other duties to watch, but this is a fun one. I'm really excited. I hope they are. I hope they're ready. Well, I hope like two of them are ready and one of them isn't, because it'll be kind of funny looking. Ooh, the tricky part is coming up right after these freezes.
Trenchcoat got one or two misses. That doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot.
Trenchcoat did the best of the three of them, but you can tell that none of them had any idea what the hell they were supposed to do there.
Right.
Which is delightful, because I also barely know what the hell I'm supposed to do there, and I just kind of hit stuff.
Yeah. And they didn't remove as much of that as far as the gimmick goes as I thought they did.
No, I knew that one was kept in. This is one of my favorite songs to play. I love this song. And boy, howdy.
So we're through the first half. Second half is where it turns into a tech chart. So now we're going to get more runs, more turns.
So Chris is saying that the gimmick was more dramatic even in XX, which I can certainly believe. But the thing is, it's not even just about the gimmick. It's just about the patterning is so awkward during that section.
Who's going to be able to handle all of this the best?
Trenchcoat is doing great so far.
He's full perfecting this so far. Diagonal turn gets him.
Oh, shit.
Chance is, I think Chance did most of the twists. I think he's maybe scammed a few of them, but overall, a very, very, very clean performance on the back half by Chance.
Look at Chance's face. That's a look of, what did we just play?
Yep. Wow. It was actually Zypher with a dominating perfect count. Takes the song down. All the other players had a lot of non-perfects, and Zypher did not. He was very, very clean. He was like the sleeper there.
He snuck in.
Yeah. He just, that was a great job. All three of them clearly no fucking clue what the hell is happening during the gimmick section, but they all managed to get over 960s, and right now it's still pretty much anyone's game. Trenchcoat behind on the first two songs, but he got just enough on Kokugen to edge out Zypher, so he still has a shot here. He could easily get the best performance of the three of them on 1950 and be in the running. Whatever happens here, they are all putting the ball in Tan's court as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I do see a lot of benefits to Ton playing in the second group of this. And once again, a real benefit offered by qualifying lower in this tournament.
Yeah, which I think that we're getting better. I think the qualifier thing is definitely something also that needs to be smoothed out as time goes on with these events, and I think that people are coming up with cool new systems for making qualifiers better. But I do think that it's hard because like Tan's recent performance might not be that high, and that's why he would qualify lower.
Right.
But I think that like Tan's player ceiling is so high compared to some of these players. Tan has some ridiculous scores on 21s, 22s, 23s, even I think historically. So it's interesting because I think that Tan's performance here, I think he could very easily advance through this pool, and I think he could even make some hay in the next pool if he does move on. But it's still anyone's game here. Zypher with that incredible performance on Clue out of nowhere. Let's see if he can do it again on 1950. They both read so slow though.
Now, I do genuinely feel if this were a straightforward timing chart, then the ball would absolutely be in Zypher or Chance's court. But see Chance already having to drop.
Yep. Trenchcoat and Zypher both looking pretty good on some of these fast sections here.
Trenchcoat, the one to still have a full combo.
Oh,
and
well, he drank
as
it.
soon
But
as I say it.
to be fair, he was getting really tough side turns,
Yes.
like back and forth. He hit most of them, so that one combo drop is certainly not the end of the world. But Chance now is the one with the leading combo. After the early slip up, he has been completely clean. I also feel like Chance has the most perfects.
Very clean into that run by Trenchcoat.
Yep. I think he was the only player with only one combo break in that stream.
So we do have the last run of this song that's going to really challenge these players. But before then, we do have the bracket section.
I feel like right now we're seeing a little bit of exhaustion from Zypher, and to a lesser extent Chance, where they're being spread out over all these games might hurt them. But this last section is it.
Zypher struggling on this.
Yep. You can tell he is slowly losing the last bit of will to live in his legs. And I don't blame him. He's probably been playing a lot of dance games this weekend.
I think
That is a
yeah,
tiring chart.
very
Chance,
solidly Chance.
yeah, Chance with a very, very, very overwhelming victory on this particular song. But Trenchcoat coming in second again means that he will, it looks like he and Zypher are tied in the pool, but I think that his margins make it likely that he will probably end up winning the pool or coming out of the pool ahead of Zypher. So right now, Chance is in the driver's seat, but you know, like I said, I think that Tan is still my favorite. I think that Kingley will do really, really well on Clue and probably pretty well on Kokugen. I'm not sure how much they have played charts like 1950 lately, and if that will be their downfall. But I think that they'll do really well on Clue. So Vincent the terrorist negotiator. I don't think there are any terrorists here. The only terrorists are the people that are banning things like Vuk, Mission Possible. They're terrorists. They're terrorizing my enjoyment. So yeah, these last two is a we got some at heart Florida players. Kingley may have left for Georgia for a while, and Ton may have long since left Florida for the browner pastures of Texas. but both of them are Team Florida at heart. Team Florida forever. Part of the long lineage of Central Florida Pump It Up Gaming. Have you ever met, did you know Lean Beef when he used to play more?
I remember the name. Never met Lean Beef.
He's my favorite. I love him. If by some weird chance he's watching at home, I just want him to know that I miss him, and I hope he'll come out to District and hang out soon. He is one of the greatest players I have ever seen. He is the only person I've ever seen who can just PFC Nissan's S20 on command like it's nothing. But here we go. We get the special big screen view for Kingly and Jelly Slosh here.
And we'll probably be seeing a warm up from them before they start.
Demo this thing's full of guys.
Jelly slash Cardigan just to show off that gimmick level 7 title. I don't even know what that is.
Is that the Rock the House shortcut?
Oof. If so, oof.
Maybe that's 6.
It might be 86 or is 8610.
I don't think 86 is level 10.
I will pull up the handy PIU game website.
Oh, Twist of Fate S19.
I can't even stage break clear that song. So to get the title is pretty impressive.
I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it so much.
I have gotten 0 grades, 1 miss on it too many times to where I just never want to touch it again.
Yeah. I think I've cleared it once. I think one day I was in an argument in group chat and I was like, all right, I'm going to go clear this. And I played it like 3 or 4 times, cleared it with like the crappiest score ever, and then moved on with my life.
Oh, they're opting to not take a warm-up and just going right into Cockagin.
Good. This means I can go eat dinner sooner. Let's see it. Tan opting to not cross over any of this. Probably a wise decision. Ooh.
Well, but he may have gotten a miss. He's got a couple rates at the very beginning of the song, but keep in mind the very first group of players, no one had a really solid final run on this.
No. This is very much anyone's game here. And Kingly is looking really clean right now.
Yeah, he's making it look like 215 is a pretty good comfort zone for him.
Yeah, that one bad, not really nearly enough for them to fall out of the running here.
Not at all.
Tick tock, tick tock. The middle camera is flipped. Ooh, Tan just one drop during those freeze taps, but otherwise very clean on this 215 stream.
Oh yeah, that stream, he got the better of it for there. Can he close out?
No.
Stream lots of bad
Neither
scores.
player with a really clean finish here.
I think this is probably a good time to say streaming at 215, little difficult.
Not the easiest thing in the world. Not the easiest thing in the world at all. And Kingly with the 961, Tom with the 975.
That 975, does that put him in first?
Let's see. Oh, crap.
Game over.
I believe that he is like within a margin of like 1,000 points of chance. One way or the other, I can't remember. But
New tunes. Difficult phone single. Level 17.
Yeah, I gotta wait for this to load up the rest of the video.
All right, we are just waiting for the scores to load into
so
the spreadsheet.
you
We'll see
can
who
see
got
here,
first.
Tan already has on his card a 987 on this chart. So Tan has played this chart before.
Which is a very good sign for him.
Yes. Given that his most likely competitors all flubbed the gimmick section on their last run, Tan is in a favorable position here. But it's really easy to mess up. Even if you know what you're supposed to do, it's easy to mess that gimmick up. So
Oh yeah, because the brackets where you hit the bracket and then go back to where you're standing on the side with a 2-button hold, it's very unnatural until you really focus on getting used to it.
here
Oh,
we
yeah.
go.
Both players looking really solid.
Nope.
So no full combos, but
Finley struggled a little bit. Tan struggled a lot less. He definitely has a chance. Tan apparently edged out Chance by 570 points on the last song. So Tan is in first through one song, and he has a very, very strong run going.
as long as he doesn't run into a major issue with the last runs, it's looking really good to take Clue as well.
Yep.
He's opting not to turn and combos through the entire run. This song, I feel confident to say, is Tan's.
Yes. And with that, Tan puts himself in an overwhelmingly favored position to emerge from this pool. A very, very, very solid run on Clue overall. The triple S, the superb game. 990334.
I think at this point that Tan is going to have to decide the last song is not within his skill set and drop out of the tournament to
Yes. Technically, it's still possible for Tan to get the worst score in the group and not advance here. And 1950 is certainly a chart that you can mess up pretty badly. But I think that even if Tan does not have a great run of this, I think he may end up getting bailed out by Zypher's obvious fatigue towards the end of the chart, because Zypher struggled a lot at the end of 1950 and tanked what was otherwise a pretty good score. And so that gives Tan a lot of wiggle room here. Tan can make quite a few mistakes here in 1950 and still at least place in fourth out of this group of 5. And I can easily imagine Tan just running up the score here, going for another triple S, and just taking down the group in a dominant form.
New teams. Level 20.
But this will be the last song of the evening. So to all of you who have been here in the chat, and if you have been just watching and not talking, thank you so much for coming along, and I hope you'll be here again tomorrow.
Tomorrow we should be starting at noon.
I believe is noon the scheduled start time? 11 a.m.
All right.
11 a.m. 11 a.m. We will be starting with an excellent pool consisting of Rinker, who we already saw advance, and then some really great Florida players between Lucas, Puppets, Dylan, Marco, combo scoring, Kenny.
To answer your question, Tomatonium, this is in Dayton, Florida.
Daytona, Florida.
No, not Dayton. Daytona Beach.
Did you just say Dayton?
I did.
Are you aware of what happened? Do you know who Leffen is, the fighting game player?
No.
So Leffen is a very famous and a very infamous fighting game player, and he's from Sweden, and he accidentally flew to Dayton this week and posted about it on Twitter on Wednesday. It was very funny.
See, I
So
should
you
have
made
just
the same
said
mistake.
I knew that, and I was making that joke the entire time.
Thank you, Pandaga. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Tan he's looking so good right now.
Yes, Tan is very, very clean. And like I said,
He has not dropped anything going into the this break.
yes, like I said, going into this match, you might not know who Kingly is as a player, and seeing this, you might think, oh, this is a... But they are a beast at, like, really technical, hard doubles charts. They're just not as familiar yet with these higher level singles charts. I think that once there's some more time and exposure with the game again, they'll be able to compete with Tan on a song like this. But right now, Tan is the king of the jungle here.
He knows that if he does well on this, he's probably going forward. What he probably doesn't know is how wrong he was. He didn't have to do
Yeah, he doesn't have
the
to
best.
do shit. He could probably take a nap for the rest of the song and almost make it through. He's doing that well up to now. Tan is just flexing on him.
See how he handles the side run at the very end. Oh, turns
Tan
it
with a very good
both
run,
it.
doing the side pivots, hitting nearly everything perfectly. Another very good score. Another superb game. Another superb game. 991-244.
And he's got to know.
The best song, the best score on all three songs in the pool. And Tan advances convincingly. He wants revenge against Rinker. He wants to knock Rinker out for making him play an extra 3 songs.
But now he gets to do that tomorrow. But there's going to be a lot more in terms of who else is going to be in the pool with him tomorrow morning.
Yes, that pool is very, very exciting. The pool that we will be seeing tomorrow, like I said, we've got some very, very, very solid players from Florida. We got Awoken, Kenny. We got combo scoring, Marco. We got HS Puppets, Dylan from here in Daytona, a Daytona local. And then we got Mint Foam, Lucas. So we got a bunch of Florida players who are all very different skill sets.
Eggplant, who is a favorite every tournament she goes to.
Yes, she is always a very, very, very strong player. Murloc, who is not only a wonderful dude and a wonderful part of the community, but also an incredibly talented and also impressive player. Watching him play is like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see that. It's going to be a very, very, very exciting pool because I would say that the skill sets, especially of those players, there might be a bigger difference than in any other bracket. I mean, like Lucas is in that skill range. Like Lucas is maybe the best, most consistent, like solid player at scoring well on those range of charts. But like the ceiling of a player like Murloc or Kenny is like unbelievable. Murloc has clears on Kukatsu S25 and like Neo Catharsis S25, just these absolutely crazy charts. So he can do just about anything in the game comfortably. Like you said, Eggplant, just amazing player. It's a great pool. It's a very, 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 very fun pool, and I'm very excited to see what happens tomorrow.
Yes, I am too. And hey, everyone that's been around, especially since we started this, thank you for hanging out. It's been fun having you, talking with you, and hopefully you were engaged. You had some good rhythm gaming.
Yes, and tomorrow there will be some damn good Pump It Up gaming, I am positive. And good luck to my co-host tomorrow, although I guess you'll probably be hosting with me at least in the morning. But good luck tomorrow, Jason. I'll be cheering for you and all of the other high-level players in your pursuit of Storm victory.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, and hope everyone can join. Tell your friends, hey, there's going to be some good pump tomorrow.
Some good-ass gaming. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.